Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining me here today. If you're new, I'm Amanda. Welcome to the channel where we are all about shattering the mental health stigma. If you haven't already, make sure you make sweet love to that subscribe button so you aren't missing any of these reactions, any of my vlogs about my mental health journey, or any of my celebrity interviews about their mental health journeys. Today's reaction is a request from a very special hero of time that holds a very special place in my heart. Big supporter of mine, always has been. Thank you so much. You know who you are. I don't have to say it out loud. You know who you are. Guys, if you haven't had a chance, though, to check out my Patreon and support my work, make sure to do so. Link is in the description. You can get priority song requests. You get to jump on multiple live streams with me every month. You get behind-the-scenes pictures and video, personalized pictures, and so much more. And every single dime goes toward my mental health outreach. So make sure to check that out. Link is in the description. But today I am reacting to Snuff by Slipknot. I'm not sure whether this is snuff as in tobacco or snuff as in the charred wick of a candle. I'm gonna guess probably that one. But I don't have any exposure to Slipknot as far as their music. I have seen them. I know they're the guys with the weird masks, or girls, not to assume gender. I don't know if there's any girls in the band, but they're the individuals with the kind of funky masks that I was always a little bit curious about, but never thought, you know what, let's go ahead and dive on in. So today, all right, let's go ahead and dive on in. Snuff by Slipknot.
What am I gonna do with you?
Everything.
This plays out like a horror movie already. Oh, is it like a snuff film? Please. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. No. I'm not equipped for that kind of stuff.
Bury all your secrets in my skin. Come away with innocence and leave me with my sins. The air around me still feels like a cage. Love is just a camouflage for what resembles rage again.
Okay, before it kicks in, I want to give a little bit of an analysis here. I like the idea of forgetting your persona when you're being with that person. So bury all your secrets in my skin. It really just has the vibe of forget the world, forget who you are, forget your flaws, everything. Just be with me. And that's beautiful. I love the offering of that. I love the idea of that. There's so much to be unpacked here, and I'm excited to see where this goes because I feel like it could go a lot of different ways, but it has a lot of symbolism. I understand it's gonna have a lot of symbolism. Again, I know that I just said this a couple of videos ago with James Blunt, but I feel like I expected heavier with Slipknot. That just sounds like it would be a heavier band. I don't know if their other stuff is heavier, but they looked like they would be something very heavy. So this is, once again, not what I was expecting. But when it was talking about the love and how love's just a camouflage for what resembles rage, love and hate aren't opposites. Apathy is the opposite of love and of hate. And I think they require the same amount of passion, you know? And they're really in some ways the same core feeling just being expressed at different extremes.
So if you love me, let me go and run away before I know. My heart is just too dark to care. I can't destroy what isn't there. Deliver me into my fate. If I'm alone, I cannot hate. I don't deserve to have you. Ooh, my smile was taken long ago. If I can change, I hope I never know.
I struggle. I was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, and I struggle with something called splitting. And when you split, the person that you care about the most becomes the villain, the bad guy. And oftentimes, with me, I will push people away because I'm afraid of them being victim to that. I'm afraid of hurting them. I'm afraid of the symptoms of my mental health negatively affecting them, especially when I get in depressive cycles. If I get into a place that's very dark, I don't want to hurt them. So I push them away as not to upset them or not to drag them down into what I perceive to be my hell. And he's saying, if I'm alone, I can't hate. Well, in my case, I can't split if there's no one there to become the bad guy, to trigger that shadow. I can't experience that, and thus I can't hurt them. So that that hurts so much to just be reminded that other people struggle with that. It is something I think that's a lot more common than we want to admit. It's defense mechanism that we push people away because we're trying to protect them. And in many ways, sacrifice is the biggest form of love, and we're willing to sacrifice our security and our happiness to protect this person we love.
I still press your letters to my lips and cherish them in parts of me that savor every kiss. I couldn't face a life without your light. But all of that was ripped apart when you refused to fight. So save your breath, I will not hear. I think I made it very clear. You couldn't hate enough to love. Is that supposed to be enough? I only wish you weren't my friend. Then I could hurt you in the end. I never claimed to be a saint. Ooh, my home was vanished long ago. It took a downfall to let you go.
I'll rewind just a second there so I can get that transition again, but the part that really hit me is the refusal to fight. The thing I've always truly desired is just knowing that someone will fight my shadow. When I try to push away, my deepest, darkest want there is for someone to fight back. Someone not to fight aggressively, but someone to say, hey, I know you're hurting. I know that you don't want to hurt me. I see this, and I'm going to stand by you, and I'm going to stay here. Even if you say nasty things, because that's sometimes what happens is we get in that mindset and we say nasty things to try to push them away. So we'll say everything under the sun to try to push that person away. And if the person would just say, look, I love you, and I know you're hurting. That's all it takes. Just, I love you, and I know you're hurting, and we're going to get through this together. Those simple phrases I feel like could save so much heartache and probably some lives along the way. But that definitely hurt. That hit deep. Just thinking about how she listened to him and she ran, and he didn't really want to lose her. He didn't want to let her go. He wanted her to prove him wrong.
Against my stones and spit your pity in my soul. You never needed any help. You sold me out to save yourself. I promise.
No, I want you to promise that you will never let go. That you will never let go. I want you to promise.
I promise.
No, I want you to promise that you will never let go.
That you will never let go.
I love how I keep getting myself psyched up for specific music, and I'll kind of say, okay, I'm gonna get in this mindset for a certain genre of music because that's what I anticipate it to be, and then it's not. And it kind of throws me for a little bit of a loop. I think that the song had several layers. It's him pushing her away, and then him remembering the good times and starting to have that guilt and regret, but then him also almost rejecting her attempts to make it right, and just the continuous cycle of pushing and whatnot. I think that there's one very sad underlying idea here, and that's that she completed him. You know, he had in his mind that she completed him. And I think it's supposed to be a romantic little thing that's on different Valentine's Day cards and stuff, but a person can't complete another person. They have to be two wholes coming together to share themselves. So when you have this mindset of, I need another person to complete me, or this other person's going to complete me, then you start getting this kind of distress if things don't work out, and that's really hard to deal with. I mean, loss is hard, but that's all I've ever wanted, was somebody to promise that they wouldn't let go, regardless of how hard it was in my head. I know that I'm not an easy person to deal with because of my anxiety and whatnot, but I just want someone to see past those struggles, someone to see when I'm screaming and yelling, to just help me de-escalate and help me see that they care, that they're going to stay there, that I can't push them away. Because that's the thing. Once my shadow realizes that she can't win and she can't push this person away, then she stops trying. So I feel like that is really the overall message here, is just someone wanting this person that they love so much that they're willing to sacrifice their own happiness because they think that walking away is what's going to be best for them, for the other person. They just want them to say, no, you're what's best for me. I love you. I care about you. So it's the tragic love story of someone that struggles with these kind of mindsets and this kind of mental health conundrum, where we have a tendency, and for the longest time for me, it was subconscious, the subconscious tendency to test people just to see if they'll stick around. And a lot of times, unfortunately, they fail, and unfortunately, not everyone can handle that. And he's feeling like she, as he said, sold him out to save herself. So she just gave up on him. She just gave up when the going got tough. And someone very special to me often tells me, if I can't be with you at your worst, I don't deserve you at your best. And that's actually kind of true. It's not okay for people with a mental health disorder or depression, anxiety, whatever the case is, to mistreat other people. But the people that they're with have to know how to help them to de-escalate, how to help validate them and reassure them. So it is very much a give and take relationship, whether it's a friendship or a romantic thing like this. It has to very much be give and take, that the person that's struggling with mental health has to learn skills, to cope with these intrusive thoughts and this desire to test people. But then the person that they're with has to be willing to learn how they want to be validated, and that they do need to be reassured. I know that I need to be reassured more probably than your average person, but when you're with somebody that is okay with that can tell you that they love you 100 times a day, and you believe them, because they show that in their actions, and because they are okay with taming your shadow, your darkness, your dark passenger. That's how a person with these struggles can be in a healthy relationship. It just takes finding someone that understands that things are never going to be normal by society's standards, but they can be normal and happy for the two of you. And it can be a very happy, mutually fulfilling relationship, but both parties have to be willing to give and to, make a little bit of sacrifice. But I think that there can be happiness in the end. So guys, like always, make sure that you're leaving your own mental health stories here in the comments. That's how we shatter the stigma, is by talking about it. That's the biggest thing we can do for the mental health community, the mental health world, is just telling our stories so others know that they're not alone, so they can feel validated and reassured by us. And I just want you guys to know that y'all's shadows aren't scaring me away, because mine understands what you're doing. You can't scare me away. So, but I do love you guys so much. And I know we're all at different points in our journeys, but good, bad, and crazy, share it here below. Make sure to like this video, share it, because you never know who might need to see it. Make sweet, sweet love to that subscribe button if you have not already. And I love you guys so very much. Mwah.